All right, John, Mr. John Sheeran. We finally have it. We have the assurance that we're gonna have Mr. Joe Burrow for what, 7 years? 7 more years.
Did we not call it like last night? I mean, I'm pretty sure we did, right?
Yes, but I believe our prediction was that it would happen right before the game.
I said it could take up that long, but we did say it was going to happen, as if there was any doubt, right?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that there wasn't any doubt, but John, we're talking about $219 million guaranteed. Is that the most of anybody ever after Deshaun Watson?
Yes. So that 219, and also there's also like another thousand on top of that, maybe 10,000. We don't know if it's like fully guaranteed. It could be just injury protection as well. Like there's practical guarantees, there's full guarantees. We don't know if that number is either one at the moment, but in terms of just practical guarantees, like that, at the very least, it's that, and that's the second most behind Deshaun Watson's fully guaranteed, like 230 million.
And so, John, the question is this: Joe Burrow's a simple man. I mean, he lives in his parents' basement. He plays
Not
video
true.
games. He
Very
watches
true.
SpongeBob.
Hmm.
He has Joe Mar Chase buy his clothes for him from like
Joe Mar
outlets.
Chase. Did you just call him Joe Mar?
They're so intertwined, the two. They're like one person. But
Sure.
then the point is, what is he gonna do with that? I know he bought a farm, but the farm nowadays is like $5,000. What is he gonna do with that money?
He can do whatever he wants because he earned it. Uh, I've said this since February, man. It's not a matter of how much money does Joe Burrow need to be
No, no,
happy
no. I
to
look. I'm
acquire
happy.
his, like, it has nothing to do with that. He
Yeah.
earned this because the quarterback who signed before him got a little bit less, right? And this is just
Yeah.
what they do. This is what the top athletes in the world do, whether or not people want to believe that they actually need $55 million a year.
No,
If market
I'm
says,
very happy. I'm just, I'm
yeah,
just, I'm just curious as to
are
what.
you genuinely curious as to what he's going to do with that money?
Yeah,
He's getting married, man. Like, I mean, that's expensive in its own,
50 million
you
right there.
know.
The thing is this. Here's my question, and I'm very glad that he's the top paid player because it's cool. It's a statement. Unfortunately, the last time we did this, it was Carson Palmer, who totally didn't deserve it. But the thing is this, John. Here's my thing. If they had signed him before Herbert, before Lamar Jackson, do you think his would have been the smallest? They would have topped Joe's because he's the best of those three, clearly.
Yeah, I think that's why it's partly why I want to say that Joe kind of waited and his team kind of waited to
Oh, so
see
he
how the
chose
market.
to, that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
So it was
yeah,
out of Mike Brown's hand. But one thing that was in their hands, John, I think we all knew the deal was done a while ago. I mean, just a day or two ago, Joe Burrow said, "Hey, the deal's done," basically, or we're almost, I'm. Well,
he
he said, yeah.
didn't really say that.
But
He
here's the
said the
thing.
deal's gonna get done, not the
Yeah,
deal is done.
yeah. But a lot of people are saying, "Hey, like this guy, he's saying the Bengals did that shot or that show on purpose." He thinks that basically the Kansas City Chiefs, the poor Kansas City Chiefs, John, they had the perfect game plan. They were going to beat the Lions 100%, and then this contract drops, and it's just not fair. And I think what they're going to do, the NFL, they're going to punish, they're going to put that loss in the Bengals column, is what they're going to do to make things right.
Yeah, it goes into the tiebreakers. When they're trying to calculate all this, it was crazy. Like Patrick Mahomes literally fell to his knees upon hearing that after kickoff, and I think it just affected his psyche. It definitely affected the Chiefs receiver's psyche, considering they dropped like 20 passes last night. So it's game is game.
I mean, they
Credit
love
to the
their
Bengals for
quarterback.
doing what they can do.
They feel bad for that their quarterback, he's the poor guy. He's what is he now, John? He's like the fifth highest paid. I mean, he's not. That's gotta hurt. How can
Yeah,
you
but
pay?
like, but if we had known that dropping news during the Chiefs game would actually help them not perform at their best, I think we would have been able to do this a long time ago. This is unfortunately a new development that should have been in their arsenal
They should have
for
signed him
two or
before the
three years
AFC
now.
Championship game. Yeah.
Apparently,
No, but seriously, John. I mean, people are saying that I don't think Mike Brown's that petty. And like as our good friend Drew Garrison said in response to that tweet, he said Mike Brown wasn't even awake when that news dropped. What does he have to do with the poor guy? But really, I don't think that was. Do you think that was intentional, John?
I think it happened when Burrow gave off the final like approval, and I don't know if he was watching the game or not, but like that's just what it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of one thing you talked about is like, hey, maybe Burrow is also trying to figure out what to do with T. Higgins. You know, so maybe they put a plan in place, and that's why it happened when it did. Because I don't know. I mean, could we see a T. Higgins deal dropping soon? I don't
I
know.
think I mean, this is just the next step in terms of like, hey, we got this done. Let's make one final push because we're not going to negotiate during the season. And it's up to T to say, hey, I want to take this deal, or I want to wait and see what Justin Jefferson gets. I want to wait and see what CD Lamb gets. It's almost like it's not a similar situation to Burrow, but obviously Burrow was helped out by the fact that Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert all got deals that set this floor for him. And perhaps T is wanting to see what that next floor is. And I don't know if just Burrow signing is going to convince him to just expedite that process, but the Bengals are certainly going to try.
Yeah. Well, congrats to the Brown family. They did it. They drafted Burrow. They made him happy to be there. He wants to be there his whole career. They paid him. Everybody said they couldn't do it. They got to one Super Bowl. John, I mean, look at it. Look at the situation right now. I mean, we saw the Chiefs without Orlando Brown. As much as Chiefs fans try to pretend that he's not good, we have Orlando Brown. They have Jawan Taylor, who looks very bad. Everything is trending in the right direction for the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm very positive right now.
It's a job well done. It's something that they had to do. Like I want that to be the distinction here. Like they had no leverage in this. They didn't have a choice but to pay Burrow what he rightfully deserves. And I think going forward, it's like everything is in their hands in terms of how they want to go from here. Like this deal does not restrict them from continuing to build around Joe Burrow the way that they see fit. If they really want to extend T. Higgins, they can do that. It's just a matter of how much they actually want to do that and how much they want to give him ground in these negotiations. The same thing goes with Jamar Chase, right? How like the Bengals have planned for this for a while. They've ever since the the receivers and Burrow provided proof of concept in 2021, they've been locking in on just trying to get these three signed and extended. They've done all the budgeting. They've done all the prep work for all of this. It's just a matter of how much do they actually want it to happen? How much are they going to stand their ground in these negotiations? This deal in no way, shape, or form prohibits them from doing that. It's just a matter of how much willing they're able to go in this. And yeah, if they end up breaking more precedent for Higgins and Chase, then that is truly when I'll tip my hat to them for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said, Mr. John Sheeran. And we will see you all next week after the Cincinnati Bengals play the Browns or defeat the Browns on Sunday. So long, SVT. Bye. Oh, don't forget to read
Bye.
John's Sheeran. Don't forget to read John's article on a2zsports.com/Cincinnati about the Joe Burrow deal. He was working on it all night. Okay. Bye, sweetie. Bye.